You're watching Mc&T Sports Report on CHCO-TV. And now, here's two guys who once ate 10 pounds of Ganong chocolates at a single sitting, Evan and Joe.
I'm Joe Ticotsky down in New Haven, Connecticut.
I'm Evan McFarlane here on a very saturated Algonquin golf course in St. Andrews, New Brunswick.
And you're watching episode 95 of Mc&T Sports Report on CHCO-TV, sponsored by Covered Bridge Chips. If I get it right, they'd probably appreciate it more.
Probably.
From the St. John River Valley. You can check them out online at coveredbridgechips.com or call them at 506-375-CHIP. How's that for a number?
That's great. I wonder how long it took them to lock that one up.
And about 2 weeks ago, my shipment of Covered Bridge chips arrived, and I felt like Steve Martin in The Jerk when he yells out, "The new phone books are here."
Nice.
So this time they sent me a bag of their tortilla chips.
Oh, tortilla del granero.
Look at you, Mr. Espanol.
See, I'm not ashamed to say that was my only A in my university degree.
There you go. And that translates to Tortillas of the Farmer. Cool name.
Awesome.
In an attempt at improving U.S.-Canada relations, I'll be using some salsa from right here in Westport, Connecticut, Newman's Own, the company run by the late, great Paul Newman.
Okay, I'm scared at what might happen when you dip this in.
So at 9:04 local time, what is better than some salsa and chips? Let me get a sturdy one here.
I'm impressed that you kept a bag for today. Mine came in, and me and chips, they don't last long, so I'm clean out again. If Covered Bridge hears that, I am out of chips.
Man, these things are good. I got the medium salsa. I didn't want to explode.
That's one heck of a breakfast you got going on, though.
I also got down it with some water. I got this mug from Grace Walsh. Shout out, one of our AAU players. She brought it back from Amsterdam.
Nice. I'm sure there's just water in there too.
Wow. We got to figure out a better time to do the chip tasting than 9:04 a.m. All right.
What, you don't have tortilla El Colgate?
Yeah. All right, we're going to do the quick music spotlight. Haven't done this in a while, but I wanted to let our viewers know about Kelly Loader, a singer-songwriter from Newfoundland and Labrador. Check out the song When It Comes to You. You will not regret investing 3 minutes and 6 seconds in this classic earworm of a tune. And then also plugging as much as possible. I want to mention that registration is now open for our Basketball by the Sea camp being held right here, there, in St. Andrews, August 11th to 14th. Boys and girls grades 5 through 12. You can also register for our 2 camps in PEI, Summerside the following week, and our new camp in Montague, PEI. So citizenship is all that's left. And you can find that registration info at bballbythesea.com. Flo, please put that up. Well, it was a great sports winner for the University of New Brunswick Reds, Evan's alma mater. Coming up next, we will talk to a member of their women's hockey team, which became the first women's hockey team in school history to win a medal.
Yeah.
You're watching Mc&T Sports Report on CHCO-TV. Sponsored by Covered Bridge Chips. Welcome back to Mc&T Sports Report on CHCO-TV. Since this is being taped the morning after the UConn-Michigan men's basketball championship game, I have to take the loss like a man. As I told Evan, I'd wear this Michigan sweatshirt, although it's killing me. Sorry, I can't do this. I can't. Sorry, Flo. Keep it rolling. Keep it rolling, Flo. Yes. There, that's better. Back to the show. This past winter, The University of New Brunswick women's hockey team made school history by medaling for the first time at the U Sport Women's Hockey Championships in Elmira, Ontario. Forward Olivia Eustace was second on the team in goals, assists, and points as the Riverview, New Brunswick native helped lead the Reds to their historic bronze medal. To find out more about her and the team, let's welcome in Olivia Eustace. Go Huskies. Olivia, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me. That was a tough loss last night.
Yeah. We we have 6 championships. Michigan has 1, so we figured we'd be nice. But thanks for reminding me.
No problem.
All right. Growing up, what other sports did you play, and at what point did you decide to go pretty much hockey?
Yeah, growing up, my parents put me in every sport that they knew I wanted to try. So it ended up being hockey and soccer. I played soccer competitively, going to nationals twice, once in Newfoundland and once in New Brunswick. And then I think around grade 11, when I went away to RNS, they were fortunate enough there to let you have like 3 sports if you wanted. But at that time, I decided like I really wanted to focus on hockey. And there was already becoming more overlaps between like events, like weekends, like and having to pick which sport you want to go to and what team you want to play on.
Yeah.
So that kind of like takes a toll on you when you're only in grade 9 or 10. So I think at that time I was ready to just pick one sport and keep going.
Okay. My good friends at RNS, good school there. Now, did you go directly from there to UNB?
No, I attended Dalhousie University for the first 4 years of my AUS career, and then I switched to UMB for the final 2.
Okay. So now, after beating Ottawa in the U Sports quarters, you then played the 8 seed in the semis because they had upset the top seed. Does overconfidence kick in at all, thinking like, the number 1 seed got knocked off. Now we play the 8 seed.
No, I don't think it does at all. I think we had a vision going in there to medal. So after we won our first game, everyone was ecstatic in the room. It was fantastic, but we knew that that was our first stepping stone to like get to our overall goal. Obviously, like seeing Montreal upset the first seed, I also thought that's great for Montreal. Like those tournaments show that anyone can be anyone on any given day. So I think we just kept that in mind, and we went in with our same mindset going into the semis as we did for the first game in the final.
Okay. So now you have a tough loss in the semis. Now you have to turn around and a day later playing the bronze medal game. It was the 5th straight appearance for the program in the tournament, but school never won a medal in women's hockey. Extra pressure going into that game, seeing how close you were?
With pressure comes privilege, or that saying. I'm not good with quotes if you know me. But I just think like we thought that game, we knew it was going to be meaningful at some point. To everybody, to all the fans at UMB, everyone that cheers us on at home. We have a great support system here, and I think we were able to lean on them in that moment to be like, regardless if it was a win or loss, we knew we were going to be proud of ourselves. But we decided in the room, like we came together and knew that we had to get it done for the program and for each other in the room. It was a hard year with AUS only being able to send 1 team. Like you really had to fight to go to nationals. It wasn't like given if you were in the top 2 teams. And I think like that just lit a fire under our stomachs going through all of nationals.
Who's your biggest rival?
Saint FX. We played Saint FX in the finals, and that was an intense match. We won both of our games when we played them at their rink, and that atmosphere, kudos to them. They have a great fan base. But it was just electric on both sides, so I couldn't imagine playing any other team in the finals.
Anyone drop the gloves during the game?
No, not that game.
Oh, well, not that game. All right. Now, let's give you a couple other questions. Who's your favorite NHL team?
The Montreal Canadiens.
Okay. They're going to finally break this countrywide jinx in hockey, and they got it.
Hopefully. Growing up, my dad's a Canadiens fan, so you had to cheer for the Canadiens.
My co-host Evan, who had to miss the interview, is a huge Leafs fan, and the man has never been alive for anything remotely close to a cup. But
Mhm.
who's your favorite PWHL player in the women's league?
I would go with Sarah Bujo. She played for a couple seasons, and then she played in the Sweden League right now. She's also my neighbor. So I think growing up, like watching her like train outside, going on her like runs, and just like chatting with her, she was a fantastic role model for me. And then also just to see that like someone that you know can do it, like anybody can do it if you just put your mind to it.
That's cool. Same,
Mhm.
same town. Was she on the New York Sirens for a bit?
Yeah, she just signed last week. I think the reserve player contract.
We actually had one of their goalies, Kaylee Osborne, was
Mm,
show about 2 years ago. And that league is just exploding.
it is. They're doing a fantastic job.
All right, we'll finish off with a non-sports question.
Okay.
Fredericton, where you go to school, it's a great
Mhm.
town for foodies. So give us your favorite non-chain restaurant. And Freddie,
I think Moco would win that one.
okay, okay. I saw
Mhm.
online the food looks great.
Mhm.
Co-host Evan would love the Thursday $5 wine special.
Yeah.
And actually, they're the same owners of the Snooty Fox, I read.
Yes.
Okay.
Mhm. That would be a close second.
Okay. Yeah, Evan.
They do a good job.
Yeah, Evan had a couple rough nights at the Snooty Fox back in the day. He's a UNB grad, by the way.
Gotcha.
Yeah, but it's great, great town.
Mhm.
She is Olivia Eustace, star forward of the historic bronze medal winning UNB Reds women's hockey team. You can find out more about the team at goredsgo.ca and on the team's Instagram page at UNBW Hockey. Olivia, thanks so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
After this short break, we'll be back with another edition of Small Town Spotlight. You're watching Mc&T Sports Report, sponsored by Covered Bridge Chips on CHCO-TV in St. Andrews. Welcome back to Mc&T Sports Report, sponsored by Covered Bridge Chips from the St. John River Valley. On this episode of Small Town Spotlight, we'll take the short 20-minute drive from the CHCO studios and head up 127 North out of St. Andrews and turn on a 170 West in St. Stephen, where we'll eventually turn onto Chocolate Drive, home of, you guessed it, Ganong Brothers. They're Canada's original and longest-standing family-owned chocolate company, started in 1873 by brothers James and Gilbert Ganong. And to tell us everything you wanted to know about chocolate and the candy business, as well as torturing your diabetic host here, let's welcome in Jeff McShane, Retail Business Manager for Ganong Brothers. Jeff, welcome to the show.
Thanks for having me.
How long have you been with the company and how long in your current position?
I've been with Ganong celebrating 25 years this month, and my role for the company has been as the retail manager and also the manager of the Chocolate Museum here in St. Stephen.
Okay. Now, this Chocolate Museum, how long has it been open? And tell us a bit about it.
Sure. Chocolate Museum has been in operation since 1991, and it tells kind of the rich history and celebrates the history of Ganong's, Canada's oldest candy company here in St. Stephen, through chocolate exhibits, hands-on exhibits as well. You actually get to see the artisan studio of the handcrafted chocolates that we produce within the museum that we sell through our retail store, and just celebrates, everything that Canada's Chocolate Town has to offer.
Okay. Now, is there an admission charge to get in?
There is an admission charge. The museum itself is a non-for-profit organization. So it is funded by the town and by Ganongs as well. But there is an admission charge for adults and seniors.
Okay. It sounds, I could just see like Homer Simpson, walking through there, just drooling, chocolate.
Right, exactly. Well, you certainly get a few treats on the tour as well.
Yeah, yeah. Now, the history of the company is pretty amazing. Opens in 1873. And then 12 years later, the chicken bone is born. I doubt any of our local viewers don't know what these are, but for those south of the border or maybe west and north of St. Stephen, tell us what the chicken
Sure.
is.
Yes, the chicken bones definitely is a signature candy of Ganong's, and certainly of the maritime homes here that would celebrate that during the Christmas season. And we've been producing that for over 130 years. It was introduced. There's no chicken involved in the process of making this. It's a cinnamon candy, and it has a dark chocolate center, so kind of like the marrow. But the small size and the shape of it kind of looks like small bones when you look at them. So that's hence where the name kind of originated
I remember the first time I was up there in Joey's, the supermarket, I grabbed a bag of those things. But even though, as I mentioned in the beginning, I'm diabetic, so I got to pick and choose.
Right.
Now, in 1920, another iconic company item made its debut, the Palomine bar. Tell us about this.
Sure. The Palomine bar was introduced in 1920. It was Ed Bozine that created this chocolate bar, and it comes in two pieces. It also is meant Palomine to share with your pals, so that's hence where the name comes from. And also, it kind of came out of Arthur Ganong, one of the earlier Ganongs that was in the company, and him and the factory superintendent at that time, kind of George Enzer, would like to go on fishing trips, so they wanted something sweet, so that the Palomine story kind of come out of that. So.
And I looked online. There's a couple songs called Palomine, one by a Dutch group named Betty Severt, if you want to get obscure and off topic. I had a great idea. I think St. Stephen High should change the name of their sports teams to the Palomines.
Right.
That would be awesome. People think of a horse maybe, or
right.
would be a unique name.
Sure would.
How many pounds of chocolate does the company sell in a year?
So Ganong's produces approximately 21 million kilograms of chocolates per year.
Hang on, let me get my converter out for us.
Right. That's okay.
46 million pounds.
Yeah, that's about 46 million pounds. So that's a bit of chocolate and candies as well that we were.
Now, is it all produced still in St. Stephen?
It is all produced here in St. Stephen. We produce it for our own brand under the Ganong label, but we also co-manufacture for other companies as well. And of course, those companies are confidential to, the general public.
Sure. I won't push any further. Now, are the products sold in all 13 Canadian provinces and territories?
Yes, our products are sold completely across Canada, but we also have an online store for some of those special items through ganong.com as well. And so it kind of celebrates those, history of the product, and a lot of the product can be found during the holiday season, of course.
Okay. Quiz time, and I didn't tell you this beforehand, so there's no wrong answer. Do you know which province in Canada spends the most per year on chocolate?
You put me on the spot on that one. Probably due to the population, I would say Ontario probably top.
Okay, now, but spends the most per person on chocolate?
Yeah, that's probably harder to determine the per capita chocolate consumer, I guess.
It is Newfoundland and Labrador.
Well, there's a good trivia question we can.
And then the next two are PEI and New Brunswick. So the Maritimes are like the home of the chocoholics.
Right.
Yeah.
I guess being part of the 155 years of history here in New Brunswick, we've created a lot of chocolate lovers. So.
Yeah, that's awesome. And in the U.S., it's California, most per capita.
Right.
Speaking of, are your products sold in the U.S.?
We just got into Sixlets, which was a U.S. company, but now we produce that product and have reintroduced it to the U.S. market through like small independent grocers, but also large retailers such as Walmarts and Targets.
And what is a Sixlet?
So the Sixlet candy is a small, kind of like
an M&M.
Kind of like an M&M without the peanuts, like it's a hard shell with a chocolate center to it, and they come in really pretty colorful flavors, and it's really kind of a unique candy and has really become a good success for us with that.
Now, you also launched 2 new products around Christmas time last year.
We did, yeah. We're pretty excited about launching those 2 new products. They're kind of a stand-up bag format. One is the sea salted caramels, and the other one is the peanut butter caramel clusters. And both of those are unique and celebrate, the things that we do well, such as like indulgent centers and smooth chocolate, and they really have been a hit within Canada this past Christmas season for sure.
Nice. Now, the company has also long been known for its charitable endeavors. So why don't you tell us a little bit about these?
Sure. Ganong's has been certainly the fabric of St. Stephen for well over 150 years, and through that, over those years, we've, through the museum and the store and the Chocolate Fest, have celebrated and participated in many events. We sponsor a lot of local sports events, whether that be by donation or monetary, but also the Chocolate Fest, we has participated in the local parades here in St. Stephen, through the International Festival, the Canada Day festivals in St. Andrews. We've also been, involved with other events and sampling at Indulge festivals. We're certainly involved with the Fall Fair here in St. Stephen, as well as a new and exciting involvement with us this summer. Well, I guess we've been in it for the past few years, is the Archie that is coming to St. Stephen.
Yep, the golf tournament. Yep.
Yes.
I know a certain basketball camp in St. Andrews that would love a chocolate sponsor, like the official.
Right. There you go.
In fact, for our viewers, his son went to our camp about how long ago?
I'd say that was a good 10 years ago that he was part of that camp for sure.
Okay. All right. Now, with the Chocolate Fest you mentioned, we'll finish up with that. That's before you know it, it'll be here. August 3rd through 6th. What kind of stuff goes on at Chocolate Fest? I mean,
during the Chocolate Fest, it's a lot of family fun oriented events that take place. They do the Jelly Bean Fun Run, which is a 5K, 3 to 5K. And, you get at the end of the run, they throw, chalk dust on you in different multiple colors. And it's a really well-attended event. It kind of kicks off on the first day of Chocolate Fest, but there's many local, events that are taking place. Chocolate Fest does many things, and you certainly see the Chocolate Moose out attending all of those events during that week as well. And the Chocolate Museum certainly gets involved. We add a little extra to that week where people get the chance to make the chocolate bar and get to take some of that home with them as a fun kind of family event.
I think maybe you could add like the July 4th hot dog eating contest, have like a chicken bone eating contest.
Right, exactly. There you go. Who can handle the most chicken bones, right?
It would be good. Yes. Well, like I always tell everyone, being a type 1 diabetic, when the doctor says, you only have about a day or two to live, right. I'm heading to the Chocolate Museum, the factory, and I'm gonna go out with a smile on my face.
Absolutely.
Well, he is Jeff McShane, a retail business manager for the iconic Ganong Brothers company of nearby St. Stephen, makers of what are most likely many of your favorite chocolate treats. And you can find out all about the company by going to ganong.com. It's a great website. It breaks it up by years and when different things were introduced and the history. And it's very neat. And it's still amazing how a company right in St. Stephen has just had such a outsized footprint on the industry. So we'd like to thank you so much for coming on the show to tell us about Ganong Brothers.
Well, happy to have us, and thank you for letting us showcase what Ganong's is all about.
We're back, and I'm just clarifying, but you start your morning with chips and salsa. You're doing interviews with a chocolatier company. I'm sure you tried those.
Oh, yeah.
Does your diabetic doctor have any idea what we're doing here?
She does now.
Oh, no.
Yeah. Hang on. I think my insulin pump just exploded on my...
I thought I heard the alert go off. But yeah, we can tidy this episode up with a few shout outs. And I think this is a good time to go fairly general but broad in our shout outs because it's that time of year. But congratulations to all up and coming 2026 graduates. It's that time in high school where they're going to be finishing up their high school career and getting ready to move on to bigger things. And they might not notice it now, but this is a key point in their life. So don't take this time for granted and enjoy it and be safe. And we're proud of all the ones that we know, and I'm sure we'd be proud of the ones that we don't know too.
Excellent. Good way to end the episode. Well, that is it for episode 95. I am Joe down in New Haven, Connecticut.
I'm Evan here in St. Andrews, New Brunswick.
Thanks to Patrick Watt and Florence Mitchell for producing and editing a show that is watched by more people than watched Maple Leafs playoff hockey this season, which means it would just be one. Go Habs. Go Habs.
Hey, we got the draft lottery #1 pick, man. That's Gavin McKenna. My jersey's in the mail.
You are watching Mc&T Sports Report on CHCO-TV in St. Andrews. We'll see you next month.